Hey everybody, I'm Belinda Sandor, also known as Rocket Girl, and today we're going to talk about how to organize your client files. When you're a virtual assistant, how you organize your client files is critical for many reasons. One, it is really it's a way of showing respect to your clients in a way, because if you treat their files with the importance that they really deserve, they're going to notice that when you're able to say, here you go, I have that, it's over here, really important. So I want to talk to you about some best practices for doing this so that you're not stuck searching for, what can sometimes be half an hour, 15 minutes wasted, unbillable, looking for some files, okay? So if you are the person who has stuff all over their desktop, I want to invite you to break that habit and come with me, and I'm going to show you what to do next. Excellent. Okay, so hello, Frederic. Hello. I'd love to hear who else is here. It looks like there's a bunch of you here. We're streaming on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So thank you for coming. The RocketGirl Show is a weekly show that happens every Thursday at 10 o'clock Eastern, where I try to illuminate a topic that's on the minds of virtual assistants, whether they're just starting out or they've been a VA for a while. So thanks for coming. Hello, Lucinda. Hello. And EJ is here. Hello, EJ. And Brittany, hello. And Therese, this is great. Piara, hello. Monica's here. Hello. Yes, Friday Eve. That is what it is. Excuse me. Hey, Brandy from Louisiana. When my daughter was little, really little, she had a map puzzle, a Melissa and Doug map puzzle. And she used to call Louisiana Louisacina. It was very cute. Louisacina. All right. Hello, Lisa. Thank you all for saying hi. This is awesome. I love this. All right. So let's dive into organizing your client files, because what you want to be able to do is easily, quickly find exactly what you're looking for so that you can do the work and be billable, and also, if possible, impress your clients. Okay. So skip the struggle. Facebook user, do you ever delete documents after a certain time, like a year? I send all the files to clients anyways. I'm a video editor, so the files are large and I can't keep everything. So that's a really good question. And in fact, let me keep that up. This is what I do. I have some files like that as well. We're going to talk about, so here's what I do. I use Dropbox, and I have a very large Dropbox account, and I keep them in the cloud. There's something called selective syncing, where the files can be in the cloud, but not on your hard drive, and you can access them with just a couple of clicks. So that's how I handle that, because I have a client my second client, who I met in the wedding buffet line, he's been doing webinars with me for 11 years. And there's a lot of files, and I have all of them in my Dropbox. So, so I don't ever delete them, because we have referenced them again. If you don't have enough space, you can talk to a client and say, I'm transferring these to you for safekeeping. I no longer have copies, but you want to be very clear about that. And if you can keep them, great. But I understand storage is expensive. I do have a rather large storage bill every month. Brandy, yes, I know, she's very cute. Hello, Sabrina. Hello. Good morning. It's good to see you. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, so here's how I use Dropbox. You can use Google Drive, you can use OneDrive, you can do anything you want, keep them wherever you want. The key is to have a system that is consistent, right? All of life is about consistency. I'm sure you'll agree. So I have one folder. So let me jump up. I have folders at different levels. I have Rocket Girl folder. I have the VA connection folder. I have, and then I have client folder. So those are my top 3 levels. All right. Underneath my client folder, I have subfolders, and those are the client's names. First name, last name, all the way down. Each client has their own folder. Nothing is saved on the desktop, in my documents folder, anywhere else. I'm very consistent about it because I just remember when I was first starting out and I didn't have this system set up, I struggled all the time, and struggle equals stress, right? And stress is not billable. Okay. So I want to make sure you're billable as much as possible. So use subfolders. So client, and then the names of the clients. All right. And be consistent also. If you're going to use the client's company name, great. If you're going to use their first name and last name, great, but be consistent so that it makes sense. Okay. Now I want you to use meaningful file names. And here's what I mean. For example, all right, in the dark ages, let's talk about the dark ages. In the dark ages, we had 8 characters dot and a 3-letter extension, and the extension had to be for the clue for the file, what application opens it. So doc, xls, ppt, for whatever the file was. Now we can write almost a novel about what the file is. So I want you to create file names for your files that mean something. Okay. So if a client sends me a PowerPoint presentation, for example, or a video to edit or whatever it is, when they bring it in, I immediately save it. And then I click save as, right? So I'm saving it as, and then I have a dash at the end and I say, my initials edited. So they know. And there's a timestamp, but it's just easier to visually see. So my initials edited. Then I work on it and then I send them that file. So I have the original and then I have my work. Okay. Then when they send it back, I do the same thing and I'll have my initials edited R2, Rev 2, Rev 3, Rev 4. And I'll keep doing that as we're going back and forth until we have dash final. Final is that's it. We're done. It's a wrap. Okay. Now, do I need to keep all of those other versions? Probably not. Do I? Yeah. And the reason is because I have so much storage, it's not an issue. And I can, move them up into the cloud, as I mentioned, with the selective sync for Dropbox. So I'm not tripping over them. But I do save them. I absolutely do. So meaningful file names. So really think about, how you're going to name your files. Oh, EJ says, yeah, there is actually a limit. There's a limit to what the name can be. I've had trouble opening files that were auto-named with the first sentence of the document. Oh, interesting. I have never seen that. I've never seen that. So yes, that's true. Sometimes when I'm saving files and they're nested way down, into a subfolder, I'll get an error message. But for the most part, I don't run into that much. I don't run into it that much. So you could say, XYZ presentation for, whoever it is, R2, definitely. And here someone says, I use a CRM with all my client information. As long as you can keep things organized and, in a way that works with your brain, that's great. You can use a different system. What I want you to do, though, is I want you to think about it and say, okay, what's my system? How am I going to do that? And I use the same system across all of my client information. So I take notes in Evernote. Everybody has a note with their first name and last name, same thing in my time tracking software, first name and last name. So it's consistent across everything. And my desktop is empty. And I want to invite you to do that as well. Okay. So meaningful file names are important. Create an client archive folder. So this is what the client archive folder is. So I have, the client folder and then all of the names of the clients. And then I have a folder called Z.archive. The reason I call it Z.archive is the Z, since the files show up in Windows, I use a PC alphabetically because that's how I have it sorted. Z.archive is the bottom. When a client moves on in their life and we're not working together, I just drag their folder into Z.archive. And that way it's out of my way. And if they come back, I can look at their files and use them. And if they don't, that's okay too. From time to time, I might go in and delete those. But for the most part, I hold on to them. And because clients have come back, they have definitely come back. So you want to use your discretion. So you want to create an archive folder. And then the last thing is you want to be consistent. Consistency works with everything, everything in life. And if you can build up a muscle with consistency in it, that will serve you throughout your whole life, whether it's, exercise, or how you're taking care of yourself, or where you put your keys so you're not searching for them. Because I've just found that when I'm not consistent, I get myself in trouble. I break the system, I can't find things. And when I don't take care of my health, I don't feel well, all of those things. So consistency in life is really the secret sauce I found. It's what has me having a steady stream of clients. It's what's has the money consistently coming in, is because I've decided what actions I'm going to take ahead of time for my life and for my business and do them. And I am not perfect. Believe me, I am not perfect. And when I realize that I've, gone off the tracks, I do what I can to get myself back in. All right. So EJ's got a question. Awesome. How would you differentiate folder names between my invoices to my clients and a client's invoicing files? That's a good question. So what I would do is I would have a folder called the name of your company, invoices to clients, and then I would have another folder, client invoices. So really be descriptive in your subfolders. So we have subfolders under clients, and then inside the client folder, we also use subfolders. I'm glad you reminded me of that. So for example, that would be logos, headshots, presentations, video files, video, and then under video files, it would be, this video file and this video file. For example, the webinars that I was talking about, I have my client he's probably had 10 different topics for webinar topics, and he does them over and over, over the years. And so I have, word of mouth marketing, and then I open that folder, and then it's word of mouth marketing 1/12/21 2/13/19, the dates. And then inside there, I have the participant list. I have the MP3, the MP4, the PowerPoint slides, and any other relevant files that are needed. So when he gets ready, and this happened yesterday, he's going to present word of mouth marketing on Friday, and he went into the word of mouth marketing folder in his client file. Most of my clients, like all of my clients except him, do not have access to my filing system, but he does. So, he'll go in and he'll look at the slides from last time. He might watch the webinar, bring himself back up to speed. And he loves that everything's just right there. And I do too. So consistency is really, really key. All right. So important topic. I'd love to hear what you're thinking. Here's a question from Angela. Hey, Angela. How often do you go through your computer to look for items you might have missed organizing? I am such a nut job about this that I don't have to do that. But remember, I've been doing this for 11 years, and then I was like this in corporate as well. So sometimes so that's a good, let me change that. So client files, really never. However, I do download images for my PowerPoint presentations, my presentations for the VA connection, and they go in the download folder. So about once a month or so, I will scroll through that because I paid for these images to make sure that I've moved all of them over to the graphics folder. So about once a month. But with client files, I only keep, here's another point, I only keep the files I'm going to use again. So if a client emails me a file for an email newsletter, like happened yesterday, I open the file, I move the words into MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever they're using. I send a test to the client. When they say it's fine, I schedule the newsletter and I close the newsletter file, but I'm not saving it to their folder because I don't need it anymore. We've used it and it's done. So that would go into my downloads folder, which probably I should look at every few months and delete all the things I don't need. But at this point, storage it's not an issue. But that's a good question, Angela. Yeah, it's I kind of think of it as looking for bombs. In terms of, I used to have to go through my email inbox pretty frequently because I wasn't consistent and I wasn't confident that everything was handled in there. So I'd go through, and looking for bombs means if I miss this, something's going to blow up. And so that can happen, everywhere in our business. So having a consistent plan it makes a big difference. All right, guys, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming. This is awesome. I love doing the Rocket Girl Show. It's a lot of fun for me to think about these topics and organize them in a way that hopefully they are helpful for you. I want to tell you about my free online classroom. It's called the Virtual Assistant Connection, and it lives on Facebook. So please come on over there, check it out. There's lots of information. If you're joining us from YouTube, please click subscribe so you won't miss an episode. The thing I want to tell you about the Facebook group is that it's an amazing community. We have almost 22,000 people in the group who are new, aspiring, and established virtual assistants. The community is very welcoming, and there's lots of help. I love how much help there is in there. If you click on the guides at the top of the group, you will see that there is a welcome section. Get started here with information all about the group and how to get started choosing your services. And if you scroll down to guide number 9, you'll see there's about 135 videos just like this one on different topics that you can learn about being a virtual assistant. Oh, thanks, EJ. EJ says the Facebook group is amazing. Thank you. And part of the reason that the Facebook group is amazing is because we have something called ambassadors. Talk about being blessed. Holy moly. We have, there's a group of women who are very committed to the quality of the group, to being helpful in the group, and they're called the ambassadors, and EJ is one of them. So thank you, EJ. I'm very proud of the group. I'm proud of, what we've created together. Yeah, I'm proud of what we've created together. So, all right, let's wrap it up. I'm Belinda Sandor, also known as Rocket Girl. Thank you for coming today. Don't miss our episode next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.